40 there.
Righto peeps, we're back here in the DMOP garage and we are going to pull the engine out so that we can spray the inside of the engine bay because it's quite filthy. I've got my good mate Paul here. He's a V-dub extraordinaire and he's going to help us pull the motor out, and we've got it obviously up on the hoist, and we've got the tools down here that we're going to use, and we've got these things crossed as well, and it's all good. Righto guys, so we've got the motor out. I just popped it down there on the jack. I've actually made a little plate down the bottom there, which I've just bolted to the jack itself. But unfortunately, this motor, it didn't fit it properly, so I've just had to use a hunk of wood there. But once the tin wears off, it slots in, and then you know can't tip over, and just a good little mod for it for the jack. Anyway, that motor's out, so we're going to just go over this guy. It's a 1600 dual port, single carby on it. I think it's got a Solex, I think 32 picked. Actually, I'm not sure what it is. Haven't had a good look at it. What is it? A 30 picked. Yeah, it's running. It was running a little bit rough. We have to give it a tune up. But the idea of taking the engine out in the first place was to paint all in here. That's actually just a primer, even though it looks similar to the actual colour. It's just like a grey, a reddish oxide primer. So have to do a little bit of masking up in here, take the battery out, take a few components out, and just give the sides here a bit of a coat. It doesn't have to be super fantastic. It's not a show car, but you know, just make it look a little bit nicer. Gearbox has actually been recoated already. I need to get some oil for that and go from there. Well, how are we peeps? We're back and we're going to get this sucker painted in here. As you can see, it's not going to be a flash job, but I've just put a bit of plastic over the transmission of the gearbox and the fuel tank. And we're just going to touch up these little areas here. I mean, most of it you're not going to see anyway, but yeah, pretty good. We will get cracking. I'm going to use a little mini gun here and just try to keep down the fluid. We don't want a lot of overspray going all over the place, so we'll just try to keep the pressure down and just do a little bit at a time. Cool. So I'll chuck you on the GoPro again, and we'll go from there. All right. Okay guys, here we are, all painted up. I just took the plastic off the fuel tank and gearbox, and you can see it's definitely a lot nicer than it was before, a lot brighter. You can see it looks, you know, it's going to match obviously the outside of the bus a lot better when someone opens up the engine lid. Anyway, there you go. Interesting thing with this splitty, which I haven't seen before, and maybe someone else might have, is when you look at the compliance, well, this is the number from the factory when they were, the flat packs were put together in, I think, Clayton in Melbourne, Australia. But this one here's actually been, it's got little spot welds around the plate. It's actually not stamped on the actual existing metal behind it. And it's definitely not an after. I was thinking, oh, maybe it's a bit something, you know, a bit dodgy going on. But if you look at the spot welds, they're definitely old looking, and the weird thing is if you look over here where the actual VIN number is, same thing. So let's see if you can see that. Yeah, so you can see there's little spot welds all the way around the plate. Normally that number is stamped into the actual back of the body there. So it's definitely a weird thing. I've never seen that before. I mean, I do actually have the aluminium plate that actually goes on to those little two screws there, and obviously the numbers all line up. I can show you that here, but yeah, a bit of a weird one. I've never seen it. You know, here's the plate here, and you can see, you know, numbers all line up and everything's, this is definitely, you know, original. You can see the back of it's all pretty hammered, but yeah, never seen that before on a splitty where they've actually been spot welded on to the body. Normally they're stamped on. Yeah, so if anyone else has seen the same thing on their splitty, give us a comment down in the description there, and just, yeah, never seen that before where it's been spot welded on a little plate there. Anyway, that's all done. The next thing we're going to do is probably just give the motor a bit of a clean up before we put it back in. It actually needs a couple of these air duct pipes. They look a bit knackered, and probably just give that generator a clean up. And the rest of it's pretty good. It's just a bit dusty, but yeah, give it a bit of a clean before we put it back in. And after I've done that, then we move on to I did actually spray up these little guys too. We're going to move on to the doors next, painting the back sides of them, get them all done and masked off, and then we can actually shoot the side here. Alright, we'll leave that with you for today. I am going surfing because the surf's good, and I'm out of here. So catch you later. You.